Good evening, everybody. It's a little after 6 p.m. tonight. Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. In today's episode, we are doing called The Snow Outside the Bedroom Door. It's something to do with snow appearing out of nowhere on the outside of the bedroom door. And my husband is here participating. So I hope you guys are, having a wonderful night tonight. My husband tried to get his old monitor working this morning, but it turned out that it no longer worked. So he took it to his work building this morning, and he let someone take a look, and they said that it's no longer functional.
Yeah.
So they gave him the new monitor. And when he got off work at 4:30, like 2 hours ago, so he brought a new one home after he got off work. He stayed there till 4:30, but now he's home. He plugged it in, including his new headset. So now he's going to be ready for tomorrow. He will be working from home like he always did ever since 2016. It's been 10 years now. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are ready for the new story. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys would like to give out your stories about your paranormal experience, if you wish to. Fearless, if you're watching this, I'm live broadcasting from my own place. Feel free to join in if you want to. So, anyway, if you wish to, I would love for you to, join in. So let me know in your ways, like in your own opinions. So I hope you're watching this video right now. I am broadcasting live. So anyway, we're doing just fine, just hanging out, relaxing like always. So I had to go to Dollar General and get some stuff for the house, like more bath foaming soap for the bathroom and some magic erasers for just cleaning like stains. Let's say you drew something on the wall and you can't get it out with anything. Like if you tried anything to get the stain out, nothing worked. So the best thing to get rid of any stain from a wall would be Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. All you have to do is put it underwater, squeeze it, the soap will come out, and all you have to do is just rub it against the wall and it will get everything out. It's like magic. So anyway, that's what it is. We've got some stain on the wall behind our trash can, and we can use it to get rid of all the bad stuff out of it. Plus, I need to clean the cabinets too, like the cabinet doors on the outside, including like on the top cabinet doors, like above the stove, something like that. So anyway, let's get started on the story. So thank you guys for subscribing, and I hope you enjoy this podcast. This is a part of my job, and this is what I like to do. I decided to do my podcast at 6 p.m. in the evening because I want to just, relax at home, do some workouts, which I did. I exercised and went shopping a little bit, spend more time with my kitty and my husband. So wanted to, do some knitting, learning how to finger crochet. Okay, so last night I finally somehow got to finger crochet, but it's gonna take me some time to get used to it, including the speeding and the techniques and stuff. It's like single crochet. It's just like using a regular actual crochet hook, but this time you can just use your fingers. It's very easy. I mean, at first it can be difficult, but at some time you get the hang of it, which I'm probably gonna try my best to get it and keep working on it until I go all the way, like speed, like any kind of speed, like medium speed or whatever. But it's gonna take me a while. So yes, I've been trying to get that going. Also knitting, yes, knitting can be difficult sometimes, but I got a lot to learn. You have to watch a lot of videos on YouTube to learn how to do knitting, crochet, finger knitting, finger crocheting, and do some sewing and the weaving, that sort of thing. It took me a while, like 6 years, and I'm still working on that. So anyway, let's get started on the story. You're probably dying to listen to some ghost stories, so let's get started. Anyway, before we get started on the ghost story, I just want to say Happy Cinco de Mayo, which is it's a Mexican holiday for a lot of Mexicans. And a lot of Mexicans actually celebrate it on May 5th. I don't know why, but it's been that way for generations, I guess, in Mexico. So, I have a friend who is Mexican and she literally celebrates Cinco de Mayo. So, on May 10th, it's Mother's Day, and I hope you got something for your own mothers. I already texted my mom a happy Mother's Day and happy Cinco de Mayo, but she probably is busy with her thing. That's cool. She will probably text me later when she's not busy. So anyway, let's get started on the story. So get something to drink or eat, something like that. Baby. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay. Anyway, get something to drink, get something to eat, and just sit back and relax. Get under the covers. If you're too scared, that's okay. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started on the story. I know it can be scary, but it's okay. So, it's supposed to be creepy. I mean, you can get like goosebumps. It's actually fun. So let's get started. There we go. Anyway, let's get started. It's season 5, episode 124. The Snow Outside the Bedroom Door. Episode 124. It began during the coldest week of January, when Peter, his wife Sarah, and Sarah's teenage niece Chloe were staying at a cabin borrowed from friends in the mountains. The cabin was beautiful in daylight, with large windows, knotty pine walls, and a view of white hills that looked almost painted when the sun hit them. By evening, however, the place changed. The long hallway upstairs seemed darker than it should have been, and the old furnace clicked in uneven patterns that made the silence between sounds feel deliberate. Chloe, who usually loved isolated places, admitted on the first night that she did not like the upstairs bedrooms. She said the hallway felt crowded. Even when no one was in it, Sarah told her it was only the unfamiliar settling and too much ghost talk from the drive up. Wow, I literally love that. So, for instance, Chloe is literally afraid what's going on upstairs. So, I would want to go to the cabin and find out what is really going on. Maybe get some investigations to see how it goes. Maybe I can communicate with spirits somehow. I probably would. So, spirits, even if they choose to talk to people or choose to communicate with the living, or something like chose the family that would take good care of the cabin even though they're dead, but the living family I meant. So it depends whoever the ghost is. So let's find out. So if you have any opinions, let me know. Please leave me a comment down below. Fearless, I hope you're watching and you can join in if you wish to. Let me know. The first strange thing happened just after midnight. Sarah woke to find the bedroom door standing open, even though she distinctly remembered closing it before going to sleep. She got up, shut it, and returned to bed without mentioning it to Peter, who was snoring lightly beside her. 20 minutes later, she woke again, not to a sound, but to a sensation, the unmistakable feeling that someone was standing on the other side of the door, waiting to be noticed. She stared at the dark outline of the door for nearly a minute before finally switching on the lamp. The door was still closed, yet beneath it, clearly visible in the warm light, was a thin line of white powder stretching across the floorboards. At first, she thought it was dust. Then she realized it was melting. This is so creepy. But, I mean, if I woke up with a spirit watching me, I would, like, look into the eyes of a ghost and see how the reaction of it, you know? It's a little weird, but yes, it can be. But if I see the spirit look into my eyes, the eyes are like locked, like literally freaking locked. Maybe this ghost probably either angry or not angry. Maybe it was smiling or something like that. was smiling right at me, I would smile back, and then the spirit would just disappear somehow. Tell me or whatever it wants to tell me. It wants to show me something. So spirit all the time. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, let's continue on. I hope you guys are listening the story very carefully and trying to get more sense of it. So I'm not gonna talk very fast. So let's continue on. Sorry, my throat feels like something's, I don't know, coming up the surface, and it's making me clear it. It sounded like I have a frog or something. But anyway, let's continue on the story. So I decided not to go for a walk today because it's kind of cold. It's like 58 degrees outside or something. But yes, it's about 58 degrees, and we decided to stay home. Not to do anything, just relax, watch TV, do some knitting, maybe read a book. I'll probably read a book after this. So, anyway, let's continue on the story. In the morning, Peter brushed the incident aside and suggested snow had somehow come in on someone's boots earlier in the evening. Sarah knew that was wrong because the upstairs floor had been dry when they went to bed. Chloe went pale the moment she heard the story and quietly admitted something of her own. She said she had heard footsteps pacing outside her bedroom around 3 a.m. Not heavy adult steps, but quick little steps. Back and forth, stepping only when she pulled the blanket over her head. Okay, sorry. All right, got it. Peter still wanted a practical explanation, but his confidence had begun to crack. The cabin owners, when reached by text, responded only by saying the house was old and sometimes settled. Strangely, Sarah thought that answer sounded rehearsed. Well, if I were Sarah, I would literally want to know more about this cabin. I would want to talk to the owners. Perhaps maybe the owners knew that the cabin was somehow haunted. But if Sarah and her family somehow maybe were, I don't know, were told about the old cabin being haunted, they had no reason to go and, have a little vacation. Maybe stay for a few days or a couple weeks or whatever. But I mean, if I were her, I would want to stay and explore it, investigate it, and get some answers for the owners or something. But, if I owned the cabin, I would still know what the fuck is happening to it. I mean, literally, if I went to a cabin anytime soon, it would be more haunting than ever, and I would literally continue investigating it. So let's continue on. So let's just continue, and we'll see how the story can be related to any of this. That night, the three of them agreed to stay awake later than usual and keep the upstairs lights on. They played cards in the living room, drank hot chocolate, and tried to make the place feel less oppressive through noise and company. Around 11:45, the furnace cut off, and with it went the low background hum. They had not realized they depended on silence. Rushed into the house so suddenly that even Chloe stopped shuffling the cards. Then came a sound from upstairs, a soft scatter like handfuls of sleet being tossed against wood. Peter, not again. Sorry about that, guys. This thing is a little crazy. Okay. Peter went up first, flashlight in hand, with Sarah and Chloe close behind. When they reached the hallway, all three stopped at once. Every bedroom door was lined along the bottom with thin, fresh drifts of snow. This is even creepier. I mean, I hope you guys are getting all the sense of it. I know you guys are still working even at 6 p.m., but what are your thoughts about this, guys? Please leave me a comment down below and see what your thoughts on the story, and how can this story be related to any of all the stories and all the real life events of any place that's been having a lot of hauntings, just like Stanley Hotel, the Merlot Hotel, or any other hotel. So anyway, let me know what you think. Even my husband would probably tell you all about it if he actually got me to the place where we could both investigate. I mean, literally. So let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below if you guys like to see what happens. So anyway, let's continue on. No window had been opened. No draft could have carried that much snow into an unclosed second floor, yet it was there, bright and cold against the dark floorboards, gathered in little crescent shapes. Outside each door, Chloe began crying quietly, which unnerved Sarah more than the snow itself, because Chloe was not easily frightened. Peter bent down and touched one drift with his fingers, then jerked his hand back as if it had burned him. It was freezing, far colder than ordinary snow, and packed with tiny black flecks like ash. While they stood staring, a set of small footprints appeared one by one in the nearest drift, as though invisible feet had just stepped into it. The prints led from Sarah's doorway to the stair landing and then stopped. This can be very scary shit. I mean, if I saw any of the ash, like the snow, like being burned, I would literally want to know more about this. I mean, if I were her right now, I would literally want to know what's going on. So, this story probably can be longer if you wish, but it probably is. I just hope you guys are watching this video from anywhere, from like all around the world. I do this because it literally excites me. I'm excited all the time.
Yes, she is.
My husband is excited too, so he watches my show all the time and he participates in my show. So if he was in his work building right now, he would probably be listening my story.
Yeah.
Like, even if I got home early and I could have done my show like at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., but still, or earlier than that, like 2 p.m., I would probably talk about it and he would probably be on the comments and he would literally text me about anything, especially his work building. And here's what it is. My husband's work building is actually haunted. There is a second floor that nobody goes to is actually haunted. So tell them what really happened at your building that got it haunted.
We don't know. We just know that something happened, and there are signs of it on the back stairwell.
So has they felt any like cold presence?
Not recently. Then again, the buildings doesn't have many people in it anymore.
Because of the haunting that's been going on.
No, they're just sending everybody home now.
Because of 2020 when COVID hit.
Yeah, and they're trying to slowly get everybody working remotely.
True. So his building, the Marriott, is pretty much haunted. It's my mom. So anyway, yeah. So I've been to his work, but I wasn't allowed to go upstairs to investigate it. But I've met his coworkers and they seem nice. He showed me where the stairs would be, but I wasn't allowed to go up there. So maybe one day I probably will.
Yeah.
If, Chris was allowed to take me up there, but right now we're not going to. So also the temple. My husband goes to the temple every couple of weeks and does some kind of prayer thing. And what I heard is that it's haunted, like literally haunted. There's a lot of ghosts in there. Anyway, let's continue on the story and we'll do some questions afterwards. The cabin owners finally told the truth after Peter called them the next morning and refused to accept another vague answer. Years earlier, before they bought the place, a family had rented the cabin during a blizzard. Their youngest child, a little girl, somehow wandered outside at night while everyone else slept. By the time they found her tracks in the morning and followed them into the snow, it was too late. She had frozen only a short distance from the porch, still wearing one sock and carrying a stuffed rabbit. Local people said that on the coldest nights she came back looking for the room she had slept in and walked the hallway trying each door the owners had not wanted to tell guests because most people laughed, and the few who believed never wanted to stay. I'm guessing a little guy somehow got onto that cabin after freezing to death. So it is so sad that a little girl had died. No wonder why the family sold, I think. Well, they actually rented it out, but somehow the cabin was sold to the owners, and the owners somehow kept the truth for God knows how long. Years, maybe? I don't know. 20, 30 years, maybe? 40? I don't really know. So, but yeah, this story is almost done. But it is so sad that they lost a child to the cold, freezing blizzard. She did not even make it outside of the porch. So she literally froze to death. She wasn't supposed to go outside alone in the dark in a blizzard without an adult. And the family is supposed to be watching her. She was supposed to be in bed sleeping. And supposed to, keep watch. But the little girl didn't know any better, so she was outside with one sock carrying a rabbit, maybe with one boot or something. I don't know. But the little girl died that night. So no wonder why they see footprints at night outside the bedroom door. So she was looking for her own bedroom where she slept, but she couldn't find it. That is the reason why her footprints kept appearing with snow. So she's bound. We don't know who this little girl is. We don't know what age she is and what her name would be. So we can give the name to this child like any name. Could be Sarah, or it could be it could be Anna or Elsa. Well, not Elsa, but it could have been like any name, like say from the Bible or whatever. Or it could be like Christina. Maybe that would be her name. I don't really know. So let's continue on the story. I hope you guys are still listening and watching at the same time. So, but yes, I hope you guys are, getting everything inside your brain. So let's continue on. Peter wanted to leave immediately, but Sarah insisted on one more night, not out of stubbornness, but out of a sudden terrible pity. Before bed, she placed a folded blanket, a child's knitted hat from Chloe's bag, and a small stuffed toy near the upstairs landing. No one said much as they turned in sometime before dawn. Sarah woke and sensed that the hallway was no longer crowded. In the morning, the blanket had been moved. The toy rabbit lay in the center of it, and outside the bedroom door, where the snow had melted the night before, were two tiny wet footprints pointing away from the room, as if someone had finally found their way back downstairs. This is so tragedy, guys. I mean, if I were that little girl, or if I were the mother of this little girl, I would keep watch of my child. Like, literally. I mean, if Chris and I did have a kid, we would have to make sure she never went outside alone without her warm clothes and shoes. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah. We would make sure she went to bed, and so we would make sure she didn't go out. But things happen, but it wasn't the mother's fault that she lost her own child. So it happens, but at least the child got whatever she wanted. She found her way back, so she finally went to heaven. But okay, let's go with questions. We got 10 questions, and I hope you guys participating. And if you have any opinions about it, now is the time to leave me a comments down below. So, Fearless, if you're on this, please let me know. Like, literally. Okay, let's get started. What do you think would scare you more, the snow or the footprints? Well, I think it's both. If I saw footprints, I would literally trying to figure out who they belong to, like to a kid or a grown man or a woman or an animal. So, but if I saw snow outside my door, this would be like not normal. But for me, I think it might be the footprints. And I would probably figure out who those footprints belong to. And I think it belongs to a little kid. Perhaps maybe this child was about 6 or 7 years old. So, let's go to number 2. Would you have stayed another night after seeing the snow inside the hallway? Yes, I would. I would literally stay another night. I would want to investigate it. Maybe a few nights, maybe more. It depends. I'm asking all of you guys that are watching this show right now. The show is gonna be done soon, so I'm asking you guys. I hope you know this question. Have you guys ever been to a cabin that is so haunted? Would it make you like pack everything and go home and never return? Would it scare you a lot more? Let me know in the comments.
Yes.
My husband would probably either stay or leave. Depends.
Absolutely.
So I think I would stay another night and we would investigate it. So anyway, let's go to number 3. This video can be long if I wish it. Why do you think the child's spirit returned to the bedrooms? The reason why she came back is because she was looking for her own bedroom where she once slept when she was alive. This little girl was probably about 6 or 7 years old. We don't really know. Maybe her name is Christina. Let's say her name is Christina, and Christina was around 6 or 7 years old. She and her family were staying in the cabin because of the blizzard. They were on some kind of Christmas vacation or something like that. And the little girl was like wandered off, didn't know what was going on, didn't know where she went to, but she somehow was found outside and didn't know how she died. I mean, children don't know how they died, but they did not see their own bodies because they were confused and scared. They wanted to find their way home, but somehow everything changed. So this little girl, she was trapped in the cabin, especially outside of it. But when they found out what happened, they would want to probably investigate it and have more background check on the cabin. The owners, they actually knew about it. Never ever dared themselves to tell the truth to the renters about it. So somehow they were just too scared. But that's fine. At least they gave a blanket for the little girl, a knitted hat, including a toy, like a little rabbit toy or something. So the little girl's spirit finally got the stuff and she found her way home. And everything felt normal again, at peace. The air changed, everything went back to normal, and the child found peace and finally went to heaven. She found the light and she went to it. Everything went back to normal. All right, let's go to number 4. What do you make of the black flecks mixed into the snow? I don't know. I think maybe it's probably because what if there was some kind of, I don't know, something burned somehow. Maybe accidentally there was a fire and accidentally burned some snow, melted maybe, or the child somehow passed away from that kind of stuff and didn't know it, but it was frozen somehow. The child died because, well, she was way too young to die. I don't have any words for it. What do you think about it? About this story? Number 4. What do you make of the black flecks mixed into the snow?
I don't know. Could be anything. Could be a bit scary.
Yes, it can be scary. It could be anything. So, we're about 43 minutes of this episode, of this video. I think it's probably fire, maybe volcanoes that comes through the ash, that sort of thing. Could be a lot of things. I don't have any words for that. So let me know in the comments down below, and what is your opinion and what's your answer to question number 4. Okay, let's go to number 5. We have about 5 questions left. All right. Was Sarah right to leave out a blanket and toy? Yes. Yes, she was right to do that because the child was looking for her way out. And she was looking for her family somehow. But her family's gone now, even though she was trapped inside the cabin all along in a frozen time loop where she died somehow. But yeah, she had the right to do that. The child would have never found herself back to where she was if they didn't leave any hats, blankets, and a toy for her. She would have been lost forever in a time loop or something. Let's do number 6. Do you think some hauntings can be comforted instead of fought. I think so. I think it can be comforted. Like, say, a little girl or a woman who is so sad that she lost someone. She sobs a lot. She weeps. Like, I don't know, like weeps for her dead family. And also herself. A lot of people are like that. But it can be comforting, especially your own loved ones who passed away a long time ago. But it can be comforting if you feel their presence, if you know who it is. Literally, it can be very comforting, like any of us. Okay, let's go to number 7. We have well, a couple questions left. Why do property owners so often hide a place's history? Well, the reason why they hide the truth from the renters is because he's too scared to tell them, but they might like make fun of him, not believe him, mock him or her, whoever. But it's a history of people who rented the cabin ended up dead somehow. It's like the slaughterhouse, but this one is normal. But the owners, they must have known, but they were too afraid to tell them what the renters would think. Good thing Peter and Sarah and everyone else took it seriously and made the choice to give out the toy, the blanket, and a hat to a little girl who just wanted to find her way out and find her family and be at peace. I think it's a beautiful thing. All right, let's go to number 8. What would you have done if you saw footprints forming with no one there? I would have stayed. I would have investigated. I would want to find out who this little girl was. I would want to communicate with this little kid. Like, literally. This child was so scared, didn't know what was happening, and she was looking for her own bedroom, looking for her mom and dad, her cousins, maybe, her entire family. But now she did find her way out, and now she's at peace. And I think it's so sad and happy at the same time. But what do you think about this?
There's probably sadder.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to number 9. Is a child ghost sadder or scarier than an adult one?
Sadder.
Yeah.
And scarier, too.
Well, it can be. But I think it's so sad that this little girl is a spirit and lost her life so young and tragic, unexpected. She wasn't sick. She just forgot to put her coat on, her socks and boots, a hat, scarf, and gloves. But I just hope that she is at peace and, I hope she's okay. Even though we didn't find out who this little girl really was. But I don't think it's scary. I think she's just sad that she found out that she was a ghost. All right, let's go to our last one before I sign off. We are in 15 minutes. That's like almost an hour. I think that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Do you think the final footprints meant peace or only a pause? well, I think it's a peace. It meant they found peace. Well, the child did. But if you think it might be a pause, but I think if you think so, please let me know in the comments down below. It's almost, well, it's like 7:26 right now. Let me know in the comments if you think the footprints was meant to be at peace or a pause. I think it was peace. I think the little girl finally found peace when she went into the light. I'm so happy this little girl finally found what she was looking for. Okay, so we are out of time. I just want to say thank you guys for listening and just being here no matter what, being supportive. We're at 51 minutes. So we're supposed to be like in the limit about 45 minutes, but it's a bit longer, but that's okay. Almost an hour. So we are out of time. So thank you guys for being here and listening. You guys are amazing fans. And just want to say good night. Have a pleasant rest of your night. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on Ghosting with Anya. We'll be doing the episode 125. And it's called A Photograph with 8 People. That's the new one. So please click like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Ghosting with Anya. Right here on live stream. So have a good night. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.